Hello, I hope you've had a good week. Today we're going to review the end of Perek Tet in Daniel and do Perek Yud. This shir, like all of our shirim, are dedicated to Rachalei Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi, who really has a lot of merit when you think about this. Okay, so we left off last time. I want to give you a quick review of Perek Tet because Perek Yud really is difficult to grasp without it. We spoke about still another vision. And we said that in this vision, this horrific vision that he had, he saw something that he had never seen before. In this vision, what he came to is that the 70 years were over from his accounting. This is what he thought happened. And he didn't know what to do with it. So he saw all of the horrors that would occur to the Jewish people. And instead of blaming the outside, the goat who we learned about in our previous perek, which is a symbol of the West, he went immediately into tefillah because he realized that that's the source of the tzara, our lack of connection. And at the end, Hashem answered his prayer by revealing the end, by revealing when Mashiach actually would come. And again, the Ramazim were very difficult, but the bottom line there is that he did see it was very distant. So with this in mind, we're going to begin Perek Yud. B'shnat shalosh l'koresh, melech paras. Devar nigle l'Daniel. It was the 3rd year of Koresh's reign. Now what happened then? Who was Koresh? So let's go back a few steps. Okay. So he knew the end, and he had seen again the vision with the goat, with the ferocious horn that could tear apart everything. But he also knew the prophecy of the 70 years. He was off. But then something happened that made him think and see that the prophecy was coming true. What was that? Koresh, the king of Persia, gave permission to the Jews to go back and to rebuild the temple. Not only did he give them permission, he gave them money, he gave them means, he gave them everything they need to do this. How did people respond? A significant number of people, but a small minority of how many people were there went. We're not talking about a handful, 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. We're talking about a large number of people, but nowhere near the majority of Jews went for it. What could that have meant to Daniel? It could only mean to him, logically, that his prayers are being answered. That there is an end in sight, even though he definitely knew that he knew that this wasn't the end of the story. He knew that everything had to come forth, that this would only be a temporary respite, which was very hard for him to hear. But he saw it happening. 3 years pass. Koresh changed his mind. Could you imagine this? Koresh changed his mind. He was responding to accusations that were made against the Jews by various people, and the accusations were political. They were all what you say in modern Hebrew interesim, people who had their own agendas. But it stopped. So the people who were already living in Israel were permitted to stay. No new people were permitted to come. This is very reminiscent of the British when they, after the Balfour Declaration, in which the British promised that they would recognize Israel as the homeland of the Jews. They realized how much they had displeased the Arabs by doing this. And because the Arabs were numerous and because the Arabs have oil, the whole declaration no longer was in their national self-interest. So one of the things they did was to write their infamous white paper, in which they forbade Jews to come back in any numbers. Now, the result of that, for us, as you know, was that many Jews were trapped in Europe for the Holocaust. So what happened? So what happened to to Daniel was again the same thing. And because of the hatred that again, it was the people who made these accusations were not only non-Jews, there were also Jews involved. Okay, because of this hatred, everything is over. He couldn't be quiet within himself. A person like Daniel couldn't accept that. So it's the third year of Koresh Melech Paras. Davar niglel Daniel, asher nikra shmo Belshazzar. Something was revealed to Daniel. Now the word "something" being used as a vision is not used frequently. There are different words that are used for visions. One of them is chazon, which is the word that we've seen more frequently, or chalom. Davar literally means